So do you guys remember a few years ago at the PlayStation Showcase event, they showed off one of the most exciting games, in my opinion, that was coming to the PlayStation 5, and that was the Wolverine game. Now, up until this point, we hadn't seen Wolverine since the Logan movie, which was all the way back in 2017, because Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't even announced yet, so this game had a lot of hype around it. A friend of mine brought this game back up to me when we were playing Spider-Man, and I realized this game kind of just vanished off the face of the earth. Now, I had no prior knowledge of what happened to it and everything involving Insomniac Games, so I just wanted to share what I found and some things, and maybe even some insight for Insomniac to bring this dumpster fire down to at least a boiling bowl of sludge. So according to a few news outlets, Insomniac Games has had this really big data breach back in 2023, revealing a lot of the game, and comes to find out, if you want to see Wolverine, all you gotta do is Google it. Just Google the shit. You can find key details to the story, assisting characters that play a role in the game, entire missions, pretty much anything you want to know is at the tip of your fingers, because this big group of hackers stole a bunch of information from Insomniac and also a bunch of playtest builds along with a ton of other files or projects that were supposed to be coming out. Like apparently there's supposed to be some Iron Man kind of game that they were working on that was going to release way later in life, but I have no idea. I've only seen that a few times. And they held all this for ransom, which Insomniac played the big baller move and said, no, I don't really be caring. And then the group of hackers said, okay, bet, and dropped all the shit. So pretty much, if you want to see the game, a very early test build of the game, all you got to do is just Google it and maybe use your imagination to get a vague idea of what they were cooking up in the kitchen. Now, I must say, if you look at the gameplay, it looks pretty damn good for being such an old mess because it's not even really done. And I don't feel comfortable showing you anything more than maybe a few screenshots. If there's no actual footage of it, I apologize. I just way too much respect for Insomniac to do that and for my own legal safety. Now, that being said, Insomniac has only released 2 statements about the game, not including the actual reveal trailer itself. The first one being about the data breach specifically, basically saying, we're so upset that these criminals took advantage of us and how heartbroken they were about how their employees were taken advantage of and how they'll still continue on, but it just caused a lot of shit, right? So they still confirmed that they were working on the game, but this was all the way back in 2023. Fast forward nearly 2 years later, and someone on Twitter is basically calling Insomniac Games out saying, oh, you ain't shit, you ain't ever pay your child support, this yo baby. And then Insomniac steps in and goes, no. They released the first statement in ages, which it was actually just a few days ago, basically saying we're still actively working on the game, but things take time, resources, and the green light to showcase them. I'm kind of paraphrasing because that's probably not a direct rip from the statement, but it's close enough. This was a decent response, but it just didn't scratch the itch that I wanted to be scratched. It just shouldn't be the way that Insomniac's updating us about the game. If you look back in time, the reason no one's really talking about this game anymore is because once the gameplay for this game got leaked, everyone was beating the shit out of it, basically. Everything I've been reading has been people saying, oh, this shit is Diet Spider-Man and all kinds of stuff, just dissing the game, ripping it apart. And I mean, I'll admit, apart from the combat looking slightly different, maybe with a closer, tighter camera angle, it's basically just Spider-Man. I mean, from the parkour to the dodging, hell, even the pause menu, the main menu, it all just looks like a Spider-Man game with a Wolverine mod. But everyone hated that and shit on the game before it's even had an actual gameplay trailer to be released from Insomniac themselves. I feel like Insomniac just needs to do a better job at addressing stuff like this. For example, a company that's been addressing all the leaks and stuff perfectly is Rockstar. What Rockstar is doing with GTA 6, for example, is they're releasing their own statements and trailers dismissing all the leaks that have been released and then just big dicking it by going, okay, this is what we're making the game into. So everything you've been seeing is just not it. And it's only building more hype around the game as time goes on as well, because then you get to realize, oh, these alpha test builds don't even scratch the surface of it. But Insomniac is doing the exact opposite. Instead of making one finished portion of the game to just make a 2-minute trailer with, even if it's no gameplay whatsoever, they're just tucking their tail quietly going, okay, well, you guys already seen everything the game has to offer, so I guess we're just going to stay silent. Avoid backlash about everything again, because we already got shitstormed last time. At least that's what I'm taking from it. I think that it would be Insomniac's best interest to release some form of actual gameplay or even a cutscene only trailer, basically just showing you this is what we're intending to do with this game. This is what we're building instead of what you guys think we're doing, because if you have even half a brain working, you know and see that these playtest builds are nothing close to what the game will actually be like. Physically, graphically, hell, even emotionally. These playtests don't even have audio baked into them yet. They're so unfinished because these playtests are also all the way before 2023, because that's when the data breach happened. So do you know how much a game can change in 2 years? And I think that's why they're trying to keep this silent, kind of vague approach to it all. They've seen all the gripes about the game, and maybe they took a step back and looked around and said, okay, we can take a lot more time, but maybe we can go back and fix this game, change this game from what it is to what people actually want. Maybe they took the opportunity to make a game that's exactly what we're dreaming of for the Wolverine game, and that's all I can really hope for, honestly, because they're taking a long time. For a game to have an announcement trailer and then take 4 more years of just radio silence other than 2 Twitter posts, it's just really rare for a big studio like Insomniac Games. Usually a game releases within 4 years of an announcement trailer. Just like, again, Spider-Man with Venom in it, Spider-Man 2. That damn announcement trailer wasn't out for very long before the game actually came out. Because you want to carry over that hype. And maybe Insomniac is really cooking up a heater and they're going back and changing the combat, adjusting the game to whatever we want. Less spider-like traversal methods, and maybe hopefully changing up the story a little bit, because I've already seen way too fucking much about this game, just barely scraping the top of the pool of shit they've had leaked. And hopefully they're making these changes, but I just don't foresee them building the game from the ground up, like starting, because most Insomniac games start from the same base. I feel like if you go to Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man 1, anything that they've made in the recent years, it all feels the exact same because it is the exact same. They're all the same franchise. But them trying to do this little spin-off of doing a Wolverine game, I don't know if they just wanted to do this shit for the money or if they just didn't try hard enough. But even if, I feel like they kind of fucked themselves in the ground with a backlash, and then they step back and go, okay, we can make something better out of this than we first expected, or first intended to do, because, oh, this is going to shut down our fucking company if we release it like this. Now, I do want to say about the gameplay itself, I actually don't think it looks that bad. It looks fairly amazing to me. Like the combat, how gory it can be sometimes. You get to see some of Wolverine's most iconic stabs through the head, all the way from the damn jawline to the hairline, and it is a little brutal, but it's cool to see in a video game. Sometimes he won't even pop his blades out, and he'll just fist fight. At least one of the missions that were leaked showed that. And the traversal is honestly pretty fucking cut and copy of Spider-Man, so I'm really hoping that does change, but it still looks pretty decent for being Wolverine. Wolverine does jump and fly through shit a lot of the times, especially in the comics. That's kind of how he gets around, but this just felt a little too much like Spider-Man to me, and I feel like it would be kind of crazy to just fresh off of that make this. You gotta do it right, and that kind of just scares me that they're not really doing it right. Hell, I wouldn't even mind if they just added a motorcycle or something for him to use like the movies. Make him a normal human with fucking a metal skeleton. And according to a lot of these leaks, there's a whole lot of costumes and stuff, which is always a plus of playing a Marvel game, but it's really cool. One of my favorite ones is actually going to be the one from the Wolverine vs. Hulk comics. This kind of brown and yellow suit, but I can't really show you guys because I'm just too terrified. But like I said before, I feel like Insomniac can really step back and improve this game. They can make it into what we want it to be, or if they just release it how it's intended to be. If they would just do a little bit more pushing on their end instead of having these leakers and stuff be in control of what you find, what you read, what you see about the game, they could take back control of this game and really make it into something. Because unless your average Joe does what I do and fucking goes on the internet and starts digging around through all these subreddits, they're not going to find anything about the game. Your average guy that sat on his couch and watched that damn PlayStation showcase a few years ago has probably completely forgotten about this game, just like I did. I completely forgot about it. The only reason why I remembered it was because I was reminded, and hopefully this video is going to remind you, but just beware. Don't go around Googling unless you're ready to see pretty much everything the game has. It just sucks that they're not releasing stuff on their own terms and it's just getting released for them as they go. I don't know if there's still some back door of how they're getting this new information and shit like that. I don't know if they're just somehow Insomniac just does not have a very good cybersecurity team, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot of stuff looking this up right now that I just should not be seeing. Hopefully Insomniac does release some kind of trailer for the game or something like that of actual gameplay of how they have the game in its current state instead of what it was all the way back in 2023. Hopefully this video will actually help them build a little bit more hype around the game because I'm really excited to see what it can be. I'm a big Marvel fan, as you guys know, and I'm really excited. Wolverine's one of my favorite characters. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below if Insomniac should release some kind of trailer of their own or if they should just shadow drop it like everyone else has been doing because we've already seen enough as is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I know it's a little random, but I don't know. My buddy just reminded me of this, and I wanted to talk about it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.